Dallas Santana, the founder of Space Blue and curator of Lunaprise, the first museum time capsule to land on the moon atop the SpaceX Falcon 9. So Dallas, great to have you back here today now there were 222 projects, right, that were reported in that time capsule that was on the moon. So let's go over this again. Like, explain the project. What was your role in it? How did that all come about?
I got brought in as a curator, which essentially means that I selected all of the projects. I reviewed them legally, financially, rights-wise, and so forth. And what would also be historical, too. What would matter in the future, 10,000 years from now? That was one of our criteria. What would matter in history? So we put in there, in the time capsule, very important art, content, sports, memorabilia, records, our Constitution of the United States, our presidents, many, many great things are up.
How interesting. And LunarBits is based on the Bitcoin network, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And that is the token associated with this project, or how does LunarBits fit into the whole thing?
Well, it's an incredible story. So LunarBits is a measurable space on the disk. We broke it up into 222 million little particles. And what happens with this is that now back on the Earth, this has been inscribed as onto the blockchain, onto the Bitcoin network. So now this is now a digital asset, and there's a community growing with it right now all over the world as we speak.
What role did NASA or SpaceX play in this? I mean, besides transportation, did they pick any of the items?
Well, one of the greatest things that happened in the United States was in the previous administration, before 2020, they passed laws for privatization of space and to allow the expansion of private companies. So this is a private mission. NASA is on the payload as a passenger, like we are. It's private initiative, so funded by the public partially, but private. Our mission was privately funded.
Okay.
So they don't have a role on that in terms of the curation. That they don't even know what the 222 projects are necessarily, because it's our payload that went there.
Okay. Now, tell me about your partnership with Future Trends Multiverse. Explain that. What does that mean for LunarBits?
Well, looking up at the moon, I tell people, listen, my dog's art is up there. LunarBits is up there. There's all these projects, but they're trying to visualize it. So the metaverse, we knew would be the way. So the metaverse is expanding the opportunity for human beings to be able to go in virtually. They don't need Oculus or the, virtual reality. They can go on their desktop or their phone, and they can see they can visit the Kennedy Space Center or the other launch pads, and they can literally go virtually to the moon.
Okay.
To the base on the moon, and they can see the songs, the music, the art, the artifacts.
Awesome. So you don't have to go to the moon to see these artifacts. You could do it in a metaverse.
Yeah.
Genius.
Yeah, the multiverse, in fact.
The multiverse. Okay. Well, explain a little bit then how this project helps with just the U.S. and research and the privatization of space. It feels like a lot has happened with that in recent years. How does LunarBits
Well, we created the very first currency off the Earth. Now think about that for a minute. Currency was created off the Earth. It wasn't created here. And so it was created up there. And then it was brought down here. So this is a whole new concept. And what's going to happen with minerals and other commodities and other things in space, some of the things are going to be tokenized without even coming here. That's the future.
Wow, that's really interesting. Is there a business revenue opportunity there at all?
Absolutely. We're not announcing them today here. We'll come back and talk to you about that. But we have some very substantial multi-billion-dollar deals of the incorporation of LunarBits into other assets that are part of other companies that want to get these things tokenized and use the payment system that we have in LunarBits.
Okay. Tell me about the creators of the projects, the art and that is involved in this payload.
Sure. So there is the Renaissance era, Michelangelo. In fact, Prince Medici was there at the launch with us, who was a keynote speaker. There's sports memorabilia, there's music, there's film. Not that much film up there. There's a project that Leonardo DiCaprio did with Michael Nash that's up there about saving the planet with the crisis that we're in. And there's a lot of wonderful things that haven't been told yet. So we plan on commercializing these opportunities over the next 10 years. For instance, there's sports memorabilia. So LunarBits' financial system is going to allow people to be able to collect and purchase these assets through our economy using this currency. And they'll be able to get these assets that are up there as digital twins down here or physicals or other certifications.
And how do the creators get paid?
Well, that's a really good question. This is the revolution with LunarBits. So I come from the entertainment industry, and I really felt bad when the actors went on strike and they were saying that they weren't getting paid from the platforms. And there were all these delays. And that's true. And it's still a problem today. So with blockchain, what happens is as soon as a transaction goes through, there's a wallet that can capture that royalty and dump it right into them instantly. Once the talent and creators get through this process, they never want to go back to the old system. So this technology with LunarBits on Bitcoin allows instantaneous payments within 15 minutes, reasonably.
Sure.
That's totally reasonable. So if you're if you're a television star or you're a movie star or you got a movie or a franchise, for instance, we're doing this with the Stanley project as well. When you actually see a character, the royalties flow right back into the wallet to the creators and the artists and the writers instantaneously. So that's what LunarBits' economy is all about.
Wow. Now, will there be concerts in the metaverse?
It's funny thing you say that. So I was on the phone last night with one of the executives at SpaceX, and I said, look, at the Kennedy Space Center, we did a concert there when we launched to go to the moon. We had DJs, we had celebrities, musicians, band members from Pink Floyd, all kinds of incredible people. And it was never done like this before at the launches. So we got the idea of wanting to do this on a big scale. So I was on the phone yesterday with SpaceX and I said, listen, when does Elon go to Mars? And they said, next November. I don't know if you know that, Jay. That's the plan.
Okay.
This is going to be, I'm getting goosebumps even telling you, this is going to be a huge thing, the idea of human beings going to Mars.
Yes.
And if it happens next November, we've already gone down there on private property to create a concert with K-pop stars and other artists, and also do this inside the metaverse as well. So the whole economy of this with the artists, the concerts, the ticketing, everything else, is going to all flow through LunarBits. And we are also planning on being on that mission, by the way, to Mars. Okay. I can't talk about it right now,
all right,
but there's something that we'll be doing up there. We're in the right position. We succeeded in doing, the impossible. And we've told the direct companies like SpaceX that we're the experts in this area in the world, and we'd like to continue to participate on these future missions. So we're planning things for Mars, which I'll come back and talk about. But next year in November, concerts, music artists there. Can you imagine the most powerful rocket in the world taking off and several days before the artists get together and creators that are part of space and are already involved in these space missions, and they're there to witness this and perform there and invite the community that's down there. If you ever get a chance, go down. It's beautiful. Horseback riding next to the rockets. No kidding.
Oh, wow.
It's incredible.
I would love to be there for the launch.
Yes.
Yes. What a vision you have. It's amazing.
Yes,
Dallas.
that's our vision, to use the LunarBits ecosystem for payments, and including, I've told this to even SpaceX. SpaceX talks to individuals like me and our companies because they want to know if we want to go for a ride. They've asked, do you want to go for a ride to space? And I've said, yes. And I want to pay for it with our currency. So really where we're ending up going is that we're going to go back into space and fund our space programs that we are initiating through this currency with LunarBits. Yeah. And companies that we're partnering with also that want to get into space will use the LunarBits economic system. For instance, Binance is a payment platform. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's a very large one, 250 million people. They're tapping into what we're doing in space that they can't do because they're not involved in the payloads. We are. They're tapping into that. And so that our community will be able to access the Binance network for safety and security. So when a payment goes through the Binance system. Yeah. When somebody transacts a concert ticket, whatever the case may be down there at Starbase, when we do that concert down there, we'll go through that whole Binance financial system with the LunarBits currency.
Okay. Well, I can't wait for updates on this.
Yes. I'll come back again.
Yes. Thanks so much, Dallas.
Thank you, too. Appreciate that.
Okay, and it is my pleasure to welcome back Brandi Veil to talk more about this. And Brandi is the president of Bing Investments, one of the original stakeholders in LunarBits, and also a partner in the Lunaprise Museum. Brandi, great to have you back. And let's talk about the Future Trends Multiverse partnership and how it relates to LunarBits. What sorts of items and ticketed experiences will be on sale?
Thank you, Jane. Thank you for having me back on the show. It's an honor to be here and also to share with the audience what is happening behind the scenes. So, a part of the Future Trends Multiverse, which is a partnership that we've created. Actually, I brought together Dallas and also my organization to bring this to the world through the Future Multiverse. So, all of our assets, all of the major assets that are archived on the moon in the Lunarprize Museum, that landed in February 22nd, 2024, can be seen from that we have master works from Michelangelo, Da Vinci, film projects from Leonardo DiCaprio, and a billion-dollar music catalog. That's right, billion-dollar music catalog can be seen inside our multiverse. And the primary subject of this is that many people won't understand how to get to space, right? Or to the moon, but they get to experience the assets inside the multiverse, including Justin Timberlake, who doesn't like him, Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin. A lot of our very well-known legacy brands are sitting right now on the moon. And, well, we'll just say that we're bringing it here down to Earth.
I mean, that makes, why have it up in the moon if we can't also enjoy it, on Earth? So now, LunarBits will be able to purchase these items, or how does that work?
Yeah, so, including fashion events and sport memorabilia, concerts and movie screenings, just imagine access. Okay. I was speaking to you earlier about maybe traveling to space. Access is key. How do you access it? You access it through LunarBits, which is the currency of those billions of assets and experiences. So you've probably heard of using rewards and incentives and getting into events with NFT. I won't say the word, but NFT. We've shifted it with LunarBits. Now you can access these events in the multiverse and also in real life experiences.
Yeah. And Binance is behind the transactions?
Oh, correct. Binance is secured. It flows of all the assets and experiences. And of course, that is a part of our system, which is a powerful partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like Ticketmaster, I guess, where the cryptocurrency processor is Binance, but you're using LunarBits as the cryptocurrency to be able to achieve it.
Exactly. A blockchain-powered version of the access of ticketing. So just imagine every great event that you've ever went to had a ticket master. Now we actually have our partners in Binance, and LunarBits is the transaction carrier for that.
When will all this be available for the public?
Wow. So fingers crossing, we have a hard pre-launch in September. So starting with a private preview, we have leaders in space, entertainment, and the tech industry. And we'll also have Pink Floyd of Scott Page performing, and K-pop stars, and Stan Lee Legion of Five project showcasing.
Okay, very cool. So does somebody need a VR headset to be able to take advantage of all this?
No, the difference between metaverse and multiverse is it's multi, right? That means that we can access it through many avenues. So no headset is needed, and it is accessible right on your phone, in your hand, on your computer, and even your TV.
Okay, so how can somebody find out in September when this is ready for launch? Where do they go to learn more about how to access this? It's such a new thing. How do we learn about it?
Yeah, so we can well, first you have to go to LunarBits222.com.
Okay.
And also all of our updates are on Twitter. So if you're curious, you want to stay in the knowing about how to get involved, especially if you're a creator and an investor, you can go to our Twitter spaces every week on Thursdays and also our website.
Okay. And we'll make sure to put up the Twitter X handle so people can follow that. So super exciting. I look forward to seeing what's in store in September.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Thanks,
I look
Brandi.
forward to seeing you again.
Okay.